Unitarian. It is good to see everyone in the room. Pastor Joshua Berg, our settled minister, is with us today. He will be here next week, and then he will be taking a well-deserved vacation, returning to the pulpit on August 10th. During his absence, we will have our summer sessions, which will feature some of our popular lay speakers, as well as a favorite guest speaker, the Reverend Michael Eslin. My name, Leanne Hart. I am your worship associate for today. We represent progressive religious thought here in the South Bay. We welcome people of all creeds, races, sexual orientations, and gender identities. I think I didn't mention we are happy to honor Pride Month today. We gather here in this sacred space on the ancestral lands of the Tongva people. We strive to be better stewards of the land we are honored to inhabit. If anyone is here for the first time, we welcome you and want you to know that we have religious exploration for school-aged children and childcare for preschoolers. Brunch is served on the patio after the service. It is our pleasure to treat newcomers to brunch. Otherwise, there's a suggested donation of $5. No one will be turned away for lack of funds. Okay, I have a few announcements. You might have noticed that we have a special musical guest today, Gino Gaudio. Thank you. Gino and Severin will be performing a brief concert after the service. You are invited to get your food and return to the sanctuary for some special music. Donations will be welcome. Okay, the men's group will not be meeting this coming Saturday, July 5th, because of the 4th of July holiday. They will resume on August 2nd. Also, it's time to sign up for those summer flowers. Looking at the calendar, we're seeing a lot of empty spaces. We need flowers for the summer, people. So go ahead and sign up. It's on the kitchen door. And this is an important one. We need a few volunteers to help with PUC tabling. We have a table at the San Pedro Pride on Saturday, July 12th, and the Torrance Farmers Market on Tuesday, July 15th. But we need some people to be there. Reverend Berg, Pastor Berg will not be available, so we definitely need people to show up. Please talk to Pastor Berg about it. Okay, and another opportunity to do some good, give some blood. The Red Cross will be holding a blood drive here at PUC Friday, July 11th, 10 to 4. Do help if you can. Okay, now it is time for our chalice lighting. These words by Linda Frassen. We light this flame for those who celebrate themselves, who fear, who hope, who persevere, who stand on the side of love for all. We light this flame for those who have been ridiculed, for they may find peace. For those who have fought to marry, that they may continue to have that right. For those who live in uncertainty in this world, that they may have hope. We light this flame to renew our commitment that no one shall ever again suffer for the right to love. For this, we lit our flame.
Thank you, Leanne. Those were great. Those are beautiful opening words. So thank you for that. Good morning, everybody. Happy Pride. Yeah, hey, yeah, welcome. Welcome. I see some new faces. That's wonderful. I see some recurring faces, which is wonderful as well. I'm so happy to be here this morning at this Pride celebration. Once again, I'm Pastor Joshua Berg, pronouns he, him. We're going to start adding our pronouns to our order of service and some other places as well as we work toward being better allies. So that's a start, and it's a process. I'd like to open our service with some words from the president of the Unitarian Universalist Association. What's that? Oh, no. Oh, yeah, that was close. I'd like to open our service with some words from the president of the Unitarian Universalist Association. Okay. We had our General Assembly, which is our UU big national conference in Baltimore last week, I think it was. And we'll be playing some excerpts so you can get a sense of being at GA. Hopefully next year we'll be online. People can attend as a delegate, see how it is, and then the year after that it'll be in person again. I'd love to take some people. But these words are from Reverend Dr. Sophia Betancourt, and she is the president of the Unitarian Universalist Association, talking about actually our Universalist heritage. And she wrote, "We are the theological inheritors of teaching on universal salvation." Teachings. There is no winnowing out of the supposedly unworthy that can be named sacred among us. It is our very universalism that is at stake when we turn away from the impact that our institutions have on the same communities and groups that society encourages us to dehumanize and make small. We must not turn away. With that, please rise in body or spirit as you are able for our opening hymn, number 1021, Lean on Me.
Swallow your pride. If I have things you need to borrow, for no one can fill those of your needs that you won't let show. Lean on me when you're not strong, and I'll be your friend. Somebody to lean on. Just call on me, brother, when you need a hand. We all need somebody to lean on. I just might have a problem that you'd understand. We all need somebody to lean on. There is a load you have to bear that you can't carry. I'm right up the road, I'll share your load if you just call me. Call brother, if you need a hand. We all need somebody to lean on. I just might have a problem that you'd understand. We all need somebody to lean on. Call me when you need a friend. Call me, yes, there you go. Call me.
Together, thank you. Great energy, awesome. And now we have a special treat for our Moment for All Ages for our youth. We have a special guest today coming all the way from the front row. It's our very own Lisa Seitz. Everybody who's young and young at heart. because you're standing near the speaker, Lisa. So just move a little bit
Move
over
this
this
way, guys.
No,
Move
Lisa,
this way.
Lisa.
Where am I going to sit?
Yeah, because you're, oh, that's a good question. You're near the speaker, that's the problem.
Oh, that's the problem.
You're good now, you're good now.
Oh. How about I go there? Oh, there's a
Yeah,
speaker.
you're good, you're good.
Wah, wah.
Yeah.
Okay. Come on down, come close, guys. This is a story about allies. Do you know what an ally is?
Oh.
You don't?
I think you said yes.
Oh, yes. It's like when you have a really close friend that sticks up for you, right? And people that fight your fights and people that hold you close. That's an ally. Do you guys have some allies in your life? Who's your ally? Jonah. Anybody else have an ally? Yeah. Violet. Oh, what a pretty name. Do you have Sam. So we all have allies. Today, this is a book about pride. And you guys know what pride is, right? So that's what we're talking about today. And this is called The Rainbow Parade. And this is a story based on the memories of a little girl that had two moms. And every year they would go to the Pride Parade and she would be so excited. And your pictures are going to be right up there, okay? The Rainbow Parade by Emily Nielsen. Today is the Rainbow Parade, which means that we get to ride on the train. The cars start out empty and gray, but slowly, stop by stop, the whole train fills up with rainbows. Do you see those fairies, Mama says? I think they're going to be in the parade. The rainbow fairy winks at me. My eyes grow wide. Wow, I whisper. Look at all that color.
Wow.
The sidewalk outside is filled with people waiting for the parade to start. Everyone is wearing whatever makes them feel most like themselves. Look at all the different colors. Even if that means wearing hardly anything at all. Whoa. Here.
It wasn't censored, that was an accident. Yeah, the book
Oh my
is
goodness.
appropriate.
But
The book is
that's what
appropriate.
makes her feel like herself.
What timing? Okay.
We search through the crowd until we find our family or friends. Happy Pride, Brenda, says Mama. Happy Pride, Jen, says Mommy. Happy Pride, Tiger, I say. Everyone laughs, except for Tiger. He's a dog. Then we sit, and we wait, and wait, and wait, until even the grown-ups are tired of waiting. Finally, we hear the motorcycles roaring down Market Street. The parade is here. Honk, honk, beep, beep, vroom, vroom. There are so many people in the Rainbow Parade. People are juggling. People are marching. Look at all those colors. People singing, people dancing, people chanting. But there are three things all the people in the parade have in common. They are extra loud, and they are super proud. And some of the signs say, don't forget how it started. Remember Stonewall, love is love, equality now. Act up, fight back, fight AIDS. And they are very colorful. The Rainbow Fairy Queen gives out rainbow candy, stickers, and plastic necklaces. When she gets to me, she says, look at those moms. Honey, you have so much to be proud of. Y'all should be in the parade. Us? In the parade? Oh, I don't know about that. Besides, I love being on the sidewalk. We clap and we cheer and we smile. Sometimes we dance to the music. Other times we watch quietly and think. A lot of times we almost catch a free t-shirt, but not quite. So close this time, says Mama. But Mommy isn't listening. Look who's up next, she says. Do you see, Emmy? They are all just like us, says Mommy. Just like us. Then Mommy hops over the fence. Come on, Emily, let's join in. Oh no. I try to imagine myself like the people in the parade, but I can't. Are you ready, Em, says Mommy. I can feel my face getting hot. I don't know. It's just, maybe I'm not loud enough or proud enough to be in the parade. I think I still belong on the sidewalk, I say. What, says Mama with eyes wide and a smile? You belong in the rainbow parade just how you are. So true, says Mommy. But it's okay to feel nervous. Sometimes finding your pride takes a little practice. Let's go, says Mama. We can practice as a family. Okay, I say, and I take Mama's hand. The three of us start to walk in a parade. We wave and the crowd waves back. We wave bigger and walk prouder, and the crowd cheers. As the parade comes to an end, I look around at all the people on the sidewalk, at all the friend families, all the parents, and all the kids. They aren't juggling or dancing or marching, but they are all still so loud and so proud and so colorful, just like us. So, what do you think of the Pride Parade, Em? Mommy asks as we ride the train home. I think I'm going to practice Pride all year long, I reply. Me too, says Mommy. Me three, says Mama. And we do. And this is a picture of the little girl and her mamas. So if you're gay or any of those LGBT words, then you should be very proud and be yourself. And if you're an ally, you should be proud that you stand up for people that are different than yourself. Did you like the story? I love your color. Okay, Haven's going to take you back.
Yay, thank you. Go now in peace. May the spirit of love surround you everywhere, everywhere you may go. This is, I'm going to play a video from the General Assembly of my colleague, Reverend Dr. Omega Burkhart, who is the minister at Neighborhood Church in Pasadena. She participated in the Sunday worship at General Assembly and offered this meditation. So please be comfortable in your seats, take a moment of silence, keep all the joys and sorrows in your hearts, and let's be in community together for this moment of silence. Literally a moment of silence.
To avoid.
There we go.
We are at the edge of a precipice, one that we had hoped to avoid. Some of us may feel the vertigo tug at us. We fear falling in. Nos da miedo caer. There are others amongst us who fear not the falling, but being pushed into that deep crevasse. This is not the first time in history that we have been pushed to and over the jagged edge. No es la primera vez en la historia que nosotros hemos sido forzados a acercarnos al precipicio. This is not the first time, but it feels like the hardest. So much is at stake. Hay demasiado en juego. We here are a sanctuary for one another. Somos un refugio unos para otros. Please join me in a moment of silence. Observemos un momento de silencio compartido.
As you come back into the space, emotionally and spiritually, I realize you're all still here. Please remain seated for our centering hymn, number 131, Love Will Guide Us.
Change the world with your love.
Thank you, Shayna and Terry, for singing along, yes. So, about 10 years ago, my family and I were staying in the home of my mother-in-law down in Savannah, Georgia. And we were in the eye of the family whirlwind there. We lived in my mother-in-law's home. So we participated in many, many family events. I just loved it. And one day, one of our nieces, who attended a private Christian high school, she invited us to her football game, where she was going to be a cheerleader. Well, around this same time, there was news circulating about a star football player at this very same private Christian high school. Apparently, he came out, or alternatively, he was outed. I don't know the story, as gay, and he was shunned in some form or another. The controversy stemmed, obviously, from policies of this private Christian school, supposedly based in their faith, that were critical of his sexual identity, as you may have guessed. Needless to say, I was conflicted about going to the football game. On the one hand, I wanted to support okay, the speaker. And I didn't want the speaker feedback. Needless to say, I was conflicted. On the one hand, I wanted to support our niece, and on the other hand, I did not want to condone this school's discriminatory posture. So I came up with a solution. I went online and I bought the gayest t-shirt, the most LGBTQ plus friendly t-shirt I could find to wear to that game. And in this way, I thought I could support my niece by being there while sending a message that I also support, as an ally, the LGBTQ plus community. I actually meant to wear it today, but I think this is colorful enough. It had a big heart with rainbow and it said love. It was great. So as you likely realize, knowing me, those of you who don't know me, I don't shy away from attention. And I even crave it sometimes. However, the attention I crave is positive attention, as most people. And wearing this t-shirt was going to conceivably bring me negative attention. So I was apprehensive. I didn't realize, actually, how nervous I would be walking into this football stadium with this t-shirt. Sitting in the bleachers, walking around the football arena. It just wasn't comfortable for me. What if someone confronted me? I was thinking, what would I say? How would I react? I hadn't gone through seminary at this time. I wasn't a minister. I wasn't a public speaker. And one of my challenges throughout my life has always been conflict. So I used to avoid conflict at all costs. It was very scary for me. And although recently I have become, or lately I've become much better at confrontation after significant work and significant effort, at that time in Savannah, I was still very confrontation averse. Now, regardless of my own personal stress that I started feeling, this is what struck me even more. What struck me even more as I wore that t-shirt and I felt stressed was the true meaning of fragility of the privileged. Wearing that t-shirt, I got a brief and very, very minor glimpse of what it might feel like to constantly be wondering what negative things people are thinking about me and what possible dangers are awaiting me constantly. And I also realized that the discomfort I felt and the quote-unquote dangers I was opening myself up to were negligible compared to the risks confronting people who not only aren't choosing to wear a t-shirt to draw attention to themselves, but who attract negative attention by just being their authentic selves because of the prejudice that surrounds them every moment. I became aware of exactly how lucky I am to be able to exist as a white, straight, cis male in almost any space I want, relaxed and completely unafraid. Something that is not available to so many. So today, on this Pride celebration, this last day, Sunday of our Pride Month, I did want to talk about this expertise that I may bring to the struggle for LGBTQ plus rights as an aspiring ally. Allies are always aspiring allies. I know I am speaking to an audience here today consisting mainly, if not entirely, of allies and members of the LGBTQ plus community. So my words today are both advice, take it or leave it, to those who wish to be better allies, and they are also a commitment to those who identify as LGBTQ plus. Today, I guess, will be Allyship 201. You've already done 101. With that basic foundation, that 101 foundation of what an ally is and what an ally does, I want today actually to go deeper into what allyship is and what allyship should be, in my opinion. Specifically these things: educating ourselves, making mistakes, and risking our own comfort and safety. And let's start with education. I believe I know much more than maybe the average American about LGBTQ plus issues, but I also know that I still know depressingly little. And there is little pressure for me in my day-to-day existence as a straight male, like I said, to become any more well-informed. No one's pressuring me overtly. Given that, as an ally, I have to pressure myself to do it. Considering the threat to so many humans, and given the values I espouse and profess, our UU values, including the worth and dignity of every individual, equity and justice for all, the interdependence of all life on earth, and the centering of love for all, given those values, I must constantly be seeking more knowledge. As a minister, I also should be knowledgeable about religious prejudice. It's not enough to simply say things like, well, the Bible isn't true, and to say the mantra, it's Adam and Eve, not Adam and Steve, is stupid. I do say those things, but it's not enough. People who espouse these things are serious believers. They believe it in their heart and soul, and only through knowledge that meets them where they are can I even begin to not insult them, but rather convince them otherwise, if that's even possible. So here's some things I've learned. Genesis, the book of Genesis in the Bible, chapter 2, verse 7, is often translated this way: "Then the Lord God formed a man from the dust of the ground and breathed into his nostrils the breath of life. And the man became a living being." But that, as you may have guessed, is a male-centered translation that is not in line with the true meaning of the text. This is true. Adam, in Hebrew, or Adam, is mistranslated as man, in the same way that our patriarchal society here has always used mankind to mean humankind. Adam actually translates to literally either ground creature, created from the dust, or earthling, or humanity. There is no gender identity assigned to the word in the Bible, at least not at this point. And in fact, later when it is, they're given different names, Ish and Ish'ah. They're not called Adam and Eve. According to the Bible, the first person, therefore, was androgynous, or non-binary. Theologically, Adam was made in God's image as well. So even though many name God male and use he, him pronouns, religious texts are absolutely clear that God transcends and embodies all genders. In Genesis chapter 2, verse 22, the second telling of the Adam and Eve story, Eve is not, as is often misquoted, created from Adam's rib. It's a mistranslation. The word mistranslated as rib actually means side. And when Adam was created, he was created with two equal sides. Biblically, Eve is an equally created side of the first genderqueer human, transitioning to her own gender identity, and so, biblically, the first transgender person. What's more, in the Talmud, a friend of mine, not really a friend, but we talked and interviewed Abby Chavestein, who was an Orthodox Jewish rabbi, born male and born in a very Orthodox community. She wrote a book called Becoming Eve because she is a transgender woman. And she talks about in the Talmud, which is the Jewish oral law, there are actually 6 separate genders delineated in the Talmud. That's a little biblical knowledge. As far as secular education, at this year's General Assembly, as I was mentioning, it was so enlightening to listen to our Ware lecturer. That's the big lecture. It's been done by MLK Jr., Stacey Abrams, different people. And this year it was done by Imara Jones, who runs Translash Media, brilliant person. She gave the Ware lecture, and I thought I knew quite a bit about transgender issues, but deeply listening to a trans person with first-person lived experience revealed to me once again how little I actually know. She talked in depth about the decades-long campaign to sell nonsense science, to sell trans fear in order for the political right to garner votes and retain power. And it's worked. So we can't learn. We can't know everything. But that's no excuse for not continuing to learn ever more. That's education. Which brings me to the next aspect of allyship that is important to consider more mindfully, deeper. And that is the acceptance that we can't know everything, that we can't do everything, and that we will certainly do some things wrong. So part of being a good ally for me means humility. It means claiming allyship for approval or attention or pretending that we all have the right answers. That ends up being performative, and it causes harm. A true ally must be humble and remains as anonymous as possible in their allyship, in their support, supporting the marginalized community in ways that they say they need to be supported while taking up as little space as possible and doing as little harm as possible. And when we get it wrong, which we will, we must be gracious in accepting feedback and criticism. And this next thing may seem a little controversial to say, but also, for allies, go easy on yourself and forgive yourself. Because coming to the table racked with shame about mistakes, which are unavoidable in this work, you're focusing on that. And it makes you less focused on the fight for rights, which is where your focus should be. So let the mistakes go. What really matters is when we mess up, it's not so much that we messed up, but how we respond, and then move on to try even harder to do the right things. It matters that we learn from our mistakes. And when you make them, remember that allyship is an ongoing process, as I said, not a destination. We're all aspiring allies. So, I'll return now to what I brought up in my story about the high school football player. Our own discomfort as an ally, what I was talking about was our own discomfort and about taking risks. That was the subject. So I've been to many Pride events and celebrations. And presence at these things is so important to demonstrate support and solidarity. But allyship must also mean showing up and speaking up when it's not only uncomfortable, but even when your own safety is at risk. I'm not saying being an ally requires always risking one's own safety, but considering marginalized communities are at risk most, if not all of the time through no choice of their own, then making a mindful and considered choice to sometimes put ourselves at risk is part of being a true ally. So use your judgment. Assess the risks for yourself. For instance, I never used to challenge anti-LGBTQ plus jokes even from my friends or family when they would make them, because it put me at risk of upsetting them, of getting them angry or whatever, or them taking it personally. But now I regularly challenge these slurs, and I use those instances as opportunities to talk directly about LGBTQ plus rights. Taking greater risks might also include wearing, like I did the shirt, clear messages of support on clothing, for instance, not just at rallies and pride marches and safer places, but in places that are hostile to the LGBTQ plus community, but where LGBTQ plus people might need to see these messages of support. If you have a pulpit like I do, you might use that to share messages of support. The Reverend Gil Caldwell was a contemporary Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., championed LGBTQ plus issues. You don't hear his name that often because it wasn't as big a part of the civil rights agenda. But he risked ostracizing himself from his own faith and kept that message powerful. And Elliot Tanner, who was this teenager, he was a prodigy, and he would be asked to speak. And when he was asked to speak about his studies, he would often pivot and use that opportunity to speak instead or in addition about support for the transgender community. Finally, I would like to address something that troubles many allies and social justice activists who have layers of privilege like myself, and that is guilt. I feel guilty when I take advantage of my privilege to rest on my laurels, seemingly moving away from the fight into spaces where I can rest, but where marginalized people have no access to. But should I feel that guilt? Human beings have to rest in order to engage productively. And if I have that opportunity to do so, and I don't take it, diminishing my ability to then re-engage effectively, I am doing the movement a disservice. Marginalized people are often exhausted without the ability to rest. If privileged people come to the table and can't step into the fray and step up because we too are exhausted, even though we have the chance to rest, we let them down and we let ourselves down. So in summary, being a good ally means not claiming you're an ally, not claiming allyship, but taking action to earn that title from the community you are supporting, by educating yourself, by being prepared and ready to work, and taking intentional and thoughtful risks. It's about showing up again and again alongside LGBTQ plus people, not in front of them, working as diligently unless they ask you to step out in front, working as diligently and as anonymously as possible, and making sure we are rested and ready to do the work, even and especially when it is not easy. The last word today on this Pride service, will not be mine. we will conclude by hearing a little bit of the Ware lecture by Amara Jones. And you're getting a special treat because it's not available to the public yet. I registered for GA, so I have access to it. It will be available. And she's talking about what living our values as allies actually means.
One of the things that's really interesting, though, that I don't think that people think about is the way in which anti-trans politics have played in bringing us to this moment. Which means that there's no way to save democracy without standing up for trans rights. It literally is an impossibility. Because everywhere around the world where we see authoritarian movements that are on the march right now, anti-trans politics were the drum major of everything that we were going to bring in. You show me where there's anti-trans and its twin sibling anti-gender politics, and you can see an authoritarian regime that has either taken hold or is very much on its way. That's true in China, it's true in Turkey, it's true in Uganda, it's true in Russia, it's true in Hungary, and it's true in America. We're not separated from the world. And so what's interesting is the fact that despite this, the debate around trans people has been used to undermine democracy, to undermine the core pillars and principles of the very thing that brings the 3,000 of you together right now. And the sad thing is that too many people have fallen for it. Have betrayed themselves and betrayed their principles. And that's not by accident. It's not a mistake. That's not an error. It's because people who wish to undermine society understand that transphobia is in the water of our democracy without an administered antidote. That it is something that can easily be weaponized, not only amongst people who might agree with them, but amongst people who say that they disagree with them. It is incredibly potent in that direction as well. You know, and that is because of some very intelligent brain work and focused attention and resource mobilization by people who say that they're religious. By people who say that they believe in God. By people who say that they have the best intent for all of humanity. And these people are the ones who, over the past 40 to 50 years, have seen fit to build a religious world and a religious order in which very few people will actually count, in which people actually won't or don't matter. They were once upon a time called fundamentalists, once upon a time called evangelicals, and now have formed into a much more virulent and potent form called Christian nationalism.
We're going to pause there, but it's a little sampling of the Ware lecture, which I encourage you when it's online to watch the rest of it. It was very powerful, but let's give her a hand.
It is now time for our offertory. Today we will share our offertory with PFLAG. And here to share a bit about PFLAG is our new member, Jack Geist. Welcome up, Jack.
For those who are not familiar with PFLAG, the P and the F are parents, friends, and family of lesbians and gays. I am all three, but predominantly I'm a parent to two trans kids, and that's what brought me to the group. And one of the things it did for me is it gave me a real community of other confused people. And you know, my wife was going through the same thing, but it's just it's a different form of support when you're meeting with people and hearing different, some better, some worse, some easier, some harder things that they're going through. So the group just makes you feel less lonely, and I think that's really the gift it gave to me. That's why I still attend meetings, even though it's not come to terms with, but I've gotten more comfortable in my skin over this, over the family change. And so, to read a little bit, PFLAG Manhattan Beach is a local all-volunteer nonprofit that exists to build a culture of inclusiveness, engagement, and equality for the LGBTQ+ community and other allies within the South Bay. They do this primarily through twice monthly support meetings. They operate on the premise that support and acceptance of family and communities is the most important factor in the emotional well-being of LGBTQ+ and gender nonconforming youth. Whatever they do to help families and individuals along their paths literally saves lives. Your generosity will ensure that PFLAG continues this vital work throughout the South Bay. We thank you for your support.
Without a song, the day would never end. Without a song, the road would never end.
please join me for the affirmation of gratitude that should appear. It is, all right. Let us be grateful when we are able to give, for many do not have that privilege. Let us be grateful for all those who share their gifts, for we are enriched by their giving. Let us also be grateful even for our needs, so that we may experience the generosity of others.
I just want to, before we do our closing hymn, offer a bit of gratitude too for my first year as a new minister to have literally the best music director in the world. With Severin, I want to say thank you as you go off onto your vacation. Just thank you, and I'm so glad you're here and welcoming you back in the fall. Enjoy your vacation. All right, with that, please rise in body or spirit for our closing hymn, number 1037, We Begin Again in Love.
We forgive ourselves and each other. We begin again in love.
For each time, sorry, I need my glasses. There we go. For each time that our fears have made us rigid and inaccessible,
We forgive ourselves and each other. We begin again in love.
then jump back to the first one. For remaining silent when a single voice would have made a difference,
We forgive ourselves and each other. We begin again in love.
for each time we have struck out in anger without just cause,
We forgive ourselves and each other. We begin again in love.
for each time that our greed has blinded us to the needs of others,
We forgive ourselves and each other. We begin again in love.
for the selfishness that sets us apart and alone,
We forgive ourselves and each other. We begin again in love.
for falling short of the admonitions of the Spirit,
We forgive ourselves and each other. We begin again in love.
for losing sight of our unity,
We forgive ourselves and each other. We begin again in love.
and for those and for so many acts, both evident and subtle, which have fueled the illusion of separateness.
We forgive ourselves and each other. We begin again in love.
This church is dedicated to the proposition that behind all our differences, beneath all our diversity, there is a unity that makes us one and binds us forever together, in spite of time and death and the space between the stars. We pause in silent witness to that unity.
May the blessing of love be upon you. May love's peace abide with you. May love's presence illuminate your heart now and forevermore. So be it. Amen. Shalom, salam, namaste, and blessed be. And now our service truly begins.
There's a bright golden haze on the meadow. There's a bright golden haze on the meadow. The corn is as high as an elephant's eye, and it looks like it's climbing clear up to the sky. Oh, what a beautiful morning. Oh, what a beautiful day. What a day. I've got a beautiful feeling. Everything's going my way. All the cattle are standing like statues. All the cattle are standing like statues. They don't turn their heads when they see me ride by. But that little brown maverick is winking her eye. Oh, what a beautiful morning. Oh, what a beautiful day. What a day. I've got a beautiful feeling. Everything's going my way. All the sounds of the earth are like music. All the sounds of the earth are like music. The breeze is so busy, it don't miss a tree. And that old weeping willow is laughing at me. Oh, what a beautiful morning. Oh, what a beautiful day. I've got a beautiful feeling. Everything's going my way. Oh, what a beautiful, oh, what a beautiful, oh, what a beautiful, beautiful
All right. Thank you. That was great. Oh my goodness. Wow. Hey, William, good to see you. Hi. 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 Hello. Hello. Hey. Boy, she is happy and energetic.